Okay, so now we're at question number 13. Now, 13 is one of those logic and cohesion types of questions that ask us to place a sentence in the correct spot. Now, before we go into this specific question, let's go through these types of questions as a whole and the three different steps that you need to take in order to answer these correctly every time. So if you don't know this, then you should write this down right now. Now, the first thing we're going to want to look for is pronoun placement. Now, pronouns give us a pretty dead giveaway of where sentences should be placed in order for the information to make sense. Now, whenever we deal with pronouns, such as the word he, I must be referring to somebody from an earlier sentence, and it's usually the sentence before. So let's say I said Michael, right, in an earlier sentence, and then I completed the sentence and I put a period. He, and then something about him. Michael went to the store. He doesn't like grocery shopping. So in this case, he was referring to Michael. Michael was the subject, and I referred to him with this pronoun he. Now, technically, this is called the antecedent, if you were curious. So whenever someone says, find the antecedent, what they really mean is find the noun that this pronoun was referring to. But you don't need to know that. So the first thing we're going to want to look for is pronoun usage, because it's a really black and white way of figuring out if a question is going to be correct or not. Now, the next thing we're going to want to look for are transition words. So if there was a cause and effect type of situation going on where the egg fell off the table, therefore it broke. Those are transition words, that therefore. Or if I said first, he went to the store. Second, he went to the bank. And finally, he went to go get gas, right? Those are transition words. They let us know the order in which things should be placed. So that's just something else to look for when we're trying to answer these questions. Now, the third thing we want to look for is just logical order of ideas. Sometimes the ideas will be broad, and then they'll go into specific examples, and then they'll get broad again before we exit the paragraph. And in other times, you need to just follow the flow of the passage or the flow of the paragraph in order to understand which events must occur before the other. So let's start with our first technique, which is looking for pronoun usage. And in this case, we're interested in sentence 7. Eli was born with deformed feet that initially prevented him from walking. Well, we see a pronoun here, him, but that's not referring to anything outside of the sentence. It's just referring to Eli. So that's not really going to help us here, but that doesn't mean that pronoun usage won't help us determining which place sentence 7 should be. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's read through here and let's see if we can find any pronouns that are a bit ambiguous or are out of place. Okay, so as we read through this, let's see what's going on. Elephants live in family groups, each one headed by a matriarch. This senior female, okay, so that's a correct placement. So I know 1 and 2 must go next to each other. This senior female teaches adolescent females by modeling proper care of younger elephants. One of Moss's most memorable observations in this regard involved 3 elephants. In this regard was referring to the modeling, right? The modeling behavior. So I know sentence 3 goes with sentence 2. Involved 3 elephants. These refers to the 3 elephants. Okay, so I know sentence 4 goes after sentence 3. These were a matriarch, echo, and 2 offspring. And now I'm naming the offspring. And I introduced an elephant named Enid, and then Eli, and then Echo, I guess was the matriarch. Echo showed Enid how to care for Eli by staying close to him when he was feeding and sleeping, and running to his aid when he signaled his distress. Okay? Eli not only overcame his early limitations, but he also grew up to be a confident young bull. Eli was born. Okay, so pronoun usage let us know that it can't be before sentence 1. And I don't think it could be before sentence 3, right? Yeah, so 3 is out as well. So my only two options are going to be A and D. Next, I'm going to look for transition words. Well, we already read through here, so technically you would kind of be looking for both of these at the same time. Now, we already went through pronouns. I didn't see any transition words that would have been of any help to us, so I'll put a big X there. And next, I'm just going to look for logical order of events. Let's read 7 again now that we've read this whole paragraph together and hopefully understand a little bit of the context. Eli was born with deformed feet that initially prevented him from walking. Okay, so he was deformed, right? He had deformed feet that prevented him from walking. Now it says here that Echo showed Enid how to care for Eli. Why would Echo have to care for Eli by standing close to him? Well, this would only make sense if initially we were presented with some information that let us know that Eli needed special attention. And it says so right here. Eli needed special attention because he had deformed feet. And so logically, sentence 7 should be before sentence 5, the sentence that talks about what they're doing about the situation and how they're helping one another. So I would place sentence 7, right? I would place number 7 right there in between 4 and 5. And that would be here, answer choice D after sentence 4. It makes more sense after sentence 4 than it is where it is now, and that's why A is wrong. Okay, so let's recap here. For question number 13, this is a certain type of question called logic and cohesion, where we find the best placement. Okay, and so as soon as we find the best, we know that this is the best placement type of question, we automatically come up with these 3 different steps. Step 1 is figure out pronoun usage. Step 2 is look for transition words. And step 3 is look for logical order of events. Pronoun usage is a good way of eliminating options right away. So our transition words. And then finally, once you've eliminated enough, then you can look for logical order and not have to think logically about every sentence in the paragraph, but maybe you're dropped it down to 1 or 2 options. Okay, thank you.